So, my dear students, in the diagram you will be able to see after the buccal cavity or the mouth, one long pipe is going inside the body which connects buccal cavity and the stomach, that is called esophagus. It is commonly known as food pipe. It runs along the neck and chest. Esophagus carries the slightly digested food, or you can say the food in which starch is slightly digested, from the mouth to the stomach. The food coming from mouth moves down through esophagus by peristalsis. Peristalsis is a motion which helps in swallowing the food from mouth to stomach. As soon as the food enters in the esophagus at the top end, the muscles in the walls of esophagus start alternate contraction and relaxation, producing a wave like movement which pushes the food downwards towards the stomach. During vomiting also we can say this motion is reversed, and the motion responsible for vomiting is called antiperistalsis. So now food reaches in the stomach. In the stomach is a thick walled bag present on the left side of abdomen. It is the widest part of the alimentary canal. Esophagus brings the slightly digested food from the mouth into stomach. The food is further digested in the stomach. The food is churned in the stomach for about 3 hours. During this time, the food breaks down into still smaller pieces and makes a semi-solid paste. The inner lining of the stomach secretes mucus, hydrochloric acid, and digestive juices. There are different functions for all the three things. Like mucus protects the lining of the stomach from its own secretion of hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid kills any bacteria which may enter the stomach with food. Hydrochloric acid also makes the medium in the stomach acidic, because acidic medium is required for the partial or partial digestion of proteins. Hydrochloric acid is necessary for proper action of digestive juices on protein in the stomach. The digestive juices secreted by the stomach lining break down the proteins present in our food into simpler substances. The partially digested food then goes from the stomach into the small intestine. Now in the diagram you will be able to see the place of small intestine. The small intestine is a very long tube. It is about 7.5 meters long. Though small intestine is very long, it is called small intestine because it is a quite narrow tube. The small intestine is arranged in the form of a coil in our belly. The small intestine in human being is the site of complete digestion of food. The small intestine is also the main reason for the absorption of digested food. So two process takes place in the small intestine. One is digestion and the other one is absorption. First we will discuss the digestion. Complete digestion of food in the small intestine take place. The partially digested food from stomach comes into small intestine. The small intestine receives secretion of digestive juices from the liver, pancreas and its own walls. All these digestive juices carry out the complete digestion of food as I am going to tell you. In the same way, liver secretes a liquid called bile. That bile juice, which is stored temporarily in the sac called gallbladder, this plays an important role in digestion of fats. Actually, the bile converts fats into tiny droplets so that their further breakdown can take place, or it will become easy. Pancreas secretes pancreatic juice. Pancreatic juice breaks down fats completely into fatty acids and glycerol. Pancreatic juice also breaks down starch, carbohydrate, and proteins into simpler forms. The walls of small intestine secrete a digestive juice called intestinal juice. Intestinal juice breaks down the starch carbohydrate completely into the simplest sugar called glucose and the proteins into amino acids. In this way, our food breaks down completely into very small water soluble substances like glucose, fatty acids, and amino acids. This is called digested food. Now, the food is completely digested in a small intestine. Then the second step, or the second thing which second process which takes place into the small intestine, that is absorption of digested food in a small intestine. The digested food can now pass into the blood vessels in the walls of the small intestine. This process is called absorption. The small intestine is especially adapted for absorbing the digested food. I can tell you how it happens. The inner surface of the small intestine has millions of tiny finger-like outgrowths called villi, and these villi helps in increasing the surface area of the small intestine, which helps in rapid absorption of digested food. Each villus has a network of thin and small blood vessels close to its surface. The surface of villi absorbs the digested food material into blood, and then blood carries the absorbed food material to the cells in all the parts of the body. In the cells, food is used for energy, growth, and repairment. This is called assimilation, the process of using digested food for energy, growth, and repairment. This process is called assimilation. Glucose breaks down in the cells with the help of oxygen to form carbon dioxide and water and releases energy. Fatty acids and glycerol build components of cells and form fats to be stored in the body as food reserves. Amino acids are used to make proteins required for the growth and repairment of body. A part of the food which we cannot eat or which we cannot digest in our body is remain undigested, and it is absorbed by the large intestine. The large intestine is about 1.5 meter long, as you can see in the picture. It is called large intestine because it is quite wide tube. The undigested and unabsorbed food from the small intestine enters into large intestine. The large intestine absorbs most of the water from the undigested food material. Due to the removal of water, the undigested food becomes semi-solid. This undigested food is stored in the last part of the large intestine, that is called rectum. When we go to the toilet, this undigested semi-solid waste is passed out from our body through anus in the form of feces. This is called ejection. So now I have told you all the 5 processes which are involved in nutrition, that is ingestion, digestion, absorption, assimilation, and ingestion. Now by doing all these, our body perform all these 5 processes, and then the nutrition is completed in our body. So this was all about the nutrition in human being.